Tennessee might be a problem. I'm inclined to make Tennessee the third best team in the SEC right now, dog. What I saw from Tennessee tonight, what I saw from Tennessee last week, what I expect Tennessee to be, while Boise State is up 17-14 over Oregon. Yo. Nico Iamaleava has entered the Heisman conversation. He's entered it along with Cam Ward. I think that it's fair to put Kyle McCord in that conversation, as he's gone for 350 or more in back-to-back games and a ranked win against Georgia Tech. That's going to work for you. But as I'm looking at what Tennessee was able to accomplish tonight and what Josh Heupel was able to get out of his program, beating up on the Chattanooga Mocs is one thing. Putting up 69 on them is one thing. But what Tennessee did tonight to a top 25 North Carolina State team, I think we need to put into context. They scored 51, guys. Iamaleava has scored at least 2 TDs in every game he has started, and they are 3-0 with him as a starting quarterback. Did he throw 2 picks? Yeah. Did it take a while for the dam to break? Yeah. But at a neutral site, he threw for 211. Dylan Sampson rushed for 132 on 20, 2 TDs. Squirrel White went Squirrel White, 2 for 67 with a TD. But the thing about Tennessee that I think most people are just now getting awakened to is Tennessee has a defense. Realize that Tennessee allowed 3 points to the Mocs and then 10 to North Carolina State. Tim Banks got those boys balling. He and James Pierce, they're making it happen out there. They held North Carolina State to 143 total yards. 143. They held NC State to 39 rush yards. Could not do anything. And you know what? We don't have to talk about North Carolina State get back in the top 25 next week either. Not with a loss like this. This is bad. This real bad. But you know what? I didn't have North Carolina State in the top 25 because I didn't think they were that good in the first place. It's not even that they're that good in the first place. It's more like North Carolina State is guaranteed to win 7 games every year. As long as Dave Doran is the head coach. They're going to win 7 games. They're also never going to win more than 9. I don't know what that says about the Wolfpack, except that they're content. They are content to play in these games with a ranking and then get beat down. But you know what? This is also a team that was in a ball game with West Carolina last week. And if they didn't score 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter, maybe they put money in the bag like Notre Dame. Oh, my God. Oh, you want to talk about charging me up. Woo! Northern Illinois doing us all a service on that. But Tennessee is also in this spot where they're going to play Kent State. They're going to beat Kent State like a drum next week. And then they get an SEC competition. They got Oklahoma. They got to come to Oklahoma. Josh Heupel gets to come home. And I've been trying to tell people that don't nobody want to beat Oklahoma quite like Josh Heupel want to beat Oklahoma. For those of you that do not know, about a decade ago, Josh Heupel was offensive coordinator. Brent Venables was the defensive coordinator, co-defensive coordinator. Because Bob didn't think that Brent Venables still had it. So he went and made his brother, once again, the co-defensive coordinator, but his brother Mike was calling the plays. And that man, for the next 5 years, had me reaching from a Pez dispenser where my aspirin is at because the defense was garbage. It was trash. It was awful. And then I had to watch Brent Venables go win 2 national championships at Clemson and one over Oklahoma's dead body. Didn't feel good. Didn't feel great. On the other side of the ball, Josh Heupel had always felt like the guy that was best positioned to succeed Bob Stoops as head coach. Why? He is the last quarterback Oklahoma's had to win a national championship. That's one. We ain't won no national championship 25 damn years. That's one. He did his duty. He goes to coach tight ends for Mike Stoops, works his way back to Oklahoma, becomes the offensive coordinator at OU. And then it kind of goes sideways. It goes sideways because he's got to make it work with Trevor Knight, who's a name that only Oklahoma fans would know, Kendall Thompson, Casey's big brother, and Blake Bell. Kansas City Chiefs fans know him as a tight end. That's what he had to work with. A dude that would play tight end in the NFL, playing quarterback was the best option at the time, and then you got to go to Trevor Knight. But Josh Heupel made that work, and he made it work as Bob was asking him to change his offense to the zone read stuff. Josh was like, I don't run that sort of stuff, but that's what we got in Trevor Knight. That's what we got to make work. So with Trevor Knight and Brennan Clay, a sidebar to a sidebar, Brennan Clay, spray tan. Go ahead and look that up. Gold. Gold, I tell you. Gold. So he made that work with Trevor Knight and Brendan Clay. We get to the Sugar Bowl, play against Alabama after getting embarrassed by A&M in 2012 in the Cotton Bowl and Johnny Manziel. And you know what happens? We beat Nick Saban and Alabama in the Sugar Bowl with Trevor Knight throwing for 3 bills. Just having a night. Having an absolute night. Josh Heupel went in Nick Saban's neck and got him. And then the wheels came off. We was trash in 2014. I got fired in 2014 covering OU for a rival site because there weren't enough subscriptions to sustain my job. They hired somebody else some 3 months later. And I go out into the wilderness like Oklahoma goes out into the wilderness. At the time I'm married, my ex-wife is in law school. One of the rules is you don't split up the family if you want that person to graduate law school. So I became an armed private investigator. I am still an ASCM and NASM personal trainer. I have a CSCS. I was a bondsman. I was a process server. What else did I do? ASE in brakes and suspension. I'm an NRA basic pistol instructor. Through all of that, I'm also watching Josh Heupel get bounced for this dude named Lincoln Riley because the offense wasn't getting it done. And what does Lincoln Riley do as soon as he gets to Oklahoma? He turns the offense into a juggernaut. Immediately. He took Thunder and Lightning and Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine and made them dance, baby. Made them dance like Zeus. He took the 6-0 Savage and turned him into a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm telling y'all, Davis Warren is who Michigan wanted Baker Mayfield to be, but the problem is there's only one Baker Mayfield. There's only one dude that can walk on at Tech and Oklahoma and still win the Heisman Trophy and be a number 1 overall pick. Lincoln was making those. Lincoln had a Heisman finalist at wide receiver and at quarterback. D.D. Westbrook, anybody? All while Josh Heupel was sent off into the woods. Josh Heupel sent off into the wilderness. They threw that man down in Hades. He crossed the river Styx. He went through the wilderness. He got to Asphodel. He went to Hades. He went to Missouri. Same difference, you ask me. Then he went to Central Florida, took over a program that had already won and said, I can win with you guys. Tell me how you do this. We're going to go do this. Made Central Florida work. Danny White gets the job at Tennessee. Danny White knows what I know. If you're an athletic director and you got a head coach that can go win, you bring his ass with you. And what'd he do? He brought him to Tennessee. And what does Tennessee do after the days of Butch Jones? My God. Jeremy Pruitt putting cash in McDonald's bags. And he turns Tennessee into a winner. They get their first win against Alabama since the iPhone generation. And now they feel once again like an SEC contender. And Josh Heupel gets to come home for the first time in anger and go at Oklahoma's neck with Bob Stoops in the press box. I'm telling y'all, as a man who lives for the revenge story, as a man who lives the John Wick way of life, I want this for Josh Heupel. I don't want it for Oklahoma. I want Oklahoma to win. I do. But for Josh Heupel to get what I think Josh Heupel is owed for what he has been through, if that got to come through Oklahoma, it got to come through Oklahoma. All I ask, if you're going to come through Oklahoma, you go undefeated. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You don't stop at Oklahoma. Don't beat Oklahoma and then be trash. Okay? I'm not going to be okay with that, Josh. That's not going to be all right. But I am going to tell y'all, when I tell you, I understand where the man got to be coming from. Josh is a much more mild-mannered person than me. Josh was also one of the first people as a coordinator to answer my questions in earnest. Like, we used to go in this thing called the Red Room, where, as my former boss would put it, you got to eat. You go in that room trying to get quotes that can help you eat. And Josh would explain to me what he was doing. He would explain to me how the offense was supposed to work in fine detail. He would treat me like I know football. I always hold on to the coaches that are personable with me, that go out of their ways to be kind to me, because it's not easy to be kind to me, especially when I'm in a reporting capacity. Sam Pittman is kind to me. Josh Heupel was kind to me. Brent Venables is kind to me. I can keep going down the list on this, and you get to know real quick why I will run behind some men. People will show you who they are when they have no good reason to treat you well, and yet they do. When people could take advantage of you and you don't, you hold on to those people. And they don't. You hold on to them. You follow them. You know what the measure of their man is. You know what the measure of their character is. And in this world at this time, when it becomes harder and harder to find authenticity, when it becomes harder and harder to find somebody who stands on what they believe and will tell you what they stand for and not be afraid of how you might feel about that, but also won't use it to beat you over the skull, you hold on to that person. Whatever's coming for Josh Heupel or coming to Josh Heupel, he deserves 100%. And he's got a quarterback in Nico Iamaleava who can get it done. Also, I'm taking the coaching, right? Iamaleava. Somebody tell Booger it's okay to pronounce that boy's name and get it wrong. It is okay. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you less of a broadcaster. We going to make mistakes. But you know what? I'm in here practicing. And y'all be calling me out. Tennessee fans, they are in here giving me phonetics. You know what I'm saying? Ui ungalale. Took me a while, but I got it. Iamaleava. Took me a while, but I'm there. Okay? I'm there.